And slowly open the eyes.
To love to myself is selfishness. How my mother can see this, for example, how can perceive it.
So firstly, when you love yourself, it's an energy, no? Unconditional love of self is a profound abundance, a profound peace, a profound joy, and it's unlimited. When you have that, you can give that unconditionally. So the quality of the love you're giving is pure, it's unconditional, it's unlimited. When you don't have that, when you have it unconditionally, it's abundant. But when you have conditionally, there's always a place where you start to abandon yourself. You know, you start giving and giving and giving and giving, and there's no love for you. And usually that comes from guilt. I should. If I was a good daughter, if I was a good wife, if I was a good mother, And it's good that we're loving. But when we really love ourselves, we give without even thinking, because it's our nature. There's no calculation. We don't get fastidious like, oh, why can't they do it for themselves? It comes from a place of joy. And also, we can say no. Sometimes to say no is to give as well, because it makes people take responsibility for themselves. And when people take responsibility for themselves, they start to grow, they start to mature, they start to feel empowered. And that's a great gift to give to people. You know, and we've been taught the exact opposite. And it doesn't serve, because it always ends up at the same point. You know, I'm exhausted, I'm resented, I give so much, you take me for granted, And we all know that, because we all do it. You know, we're not all Mother Teresa. Huh?
How can I accept my body, and from that place of love and acceptance to get it better?
You know, a lot of us have addictions. Like if we're anxious, we start to eat and we start to gain weight, no? And then we stop loving ourselves. You know, we're, oh, I'm so fat, or I'm not good enough, or whatever. Okay, it's a very standard thing that happens with women, because we've all got this idea of how our body should look. Okay, and in order to transform that, we need a certain amount of focus, but we also need to appreciate ourselves. We need to move the stress, so we're not eating excessively. We can't change that which is. And as we start to love ourselves, we start to appreciate our bodies. Because the important thing is that my body's healthy. The important thing is that I'm taking care of my body. The important thing is I'm not abusing it with addictions. That's what's important. And as we start to love ourselves, we start to appreciate our bodies. And we start to change our perception. And one of the most important things is to be present. We abuse our bodies when we're not present. You know, we don't enjoy our food. We eat when we're not hungry. Like, we need to be more present in what we're doing in each moment. Or it can go in the other direction. We starve ourselves, we over-exercise, we don't consume enough calories. It can go in many different directions. But all of that's a reflection of us not loving ourselves. Okay, so it's about finding that internal balance and stop projecting onto our bodies. You know, I remember when I was young, I used to do bodybuilding and everything. And I had an amazing body, but I couldn't see it. Like, if I look at photos now, it's like, yeah. But there was always something wrong. Always something wrong. Because I didn't love myself. I'd look in the mirror, I'd be criticising myself, never thought I was attractive. But it was all coming from a lack of self-love. Once you love yourself, you start to appreciate yourself exactly as you are. And from that point, you improve. You can always be more. We can always be fitter. We can always be more conscious. But we have to appreciate what is in this moment and to build on that. You can't build on top of judgment. Yeah? You can't build on top of judgments. Yes? Good.
I was thinking about work. I'm a designer. And when I get in the role of my job, I get lost and many, many hours working because I have the creativity flowing. My question is, what is the facet that can help me the most to feel more centered, more anchored in myself?
When we're outward, often we lose our awareness. Not so much when we're creating. Because when we're in the creation, we're not even present, no? Our personality. It's like something's moving through, no? When we're creating, it's like something's moving through. But when we get lost in the doing, there's this energy of doing. And it has a certain amount of franticness, no? Okay, it's like doing. And then all of a sudden like, oh, I'm not here. So the best thing to do is think a facet, but also have like an alarm that brings you into the moment. Just close your eyes and just unify even 6 facets and just anchor and then move into action again. You know, it's so important to be present in what you're doing. Yes, and you can be perfectly present and multitask. You can do that, but you're centered. You can do many things. Well, women can. Yeah. We can do many things when we're present in the moment. Yeah. You notice when you're not present because you're asking. When you're in your heart and you're present, you know. When you're out, you're chasing illusions. And that doesn't serve. Oh, I come back to me. I come here now. And the more you cultivate consciousness, it's very hard to be out. Very hard. Because it's so comfortable to be here. But when you leave there, it's very uncomfortable. Yes?
If you see it as something very far away, like awakening in humanity, like as a more common thing, or is very far in the humanity future?
I would like to think it's here now. I would like to think that. Because I know the consciousness level's rising. And I'm starting to see extreme duality. Because there's always this extreme duality. So I would like to think yes. Do I know? No. I only know this moment. I only know what's in front of me. I know my teachers that are truly focused on enlightenment. And I see them there. There. But the rest of the world? Let's see. Let's see. My students? Let's see. You know, I don't have a crystal ball. I can only see this moment. And anyone that tells you they can see more than this? Let's see.
I want to ask you about your personal experience, because normally we hear when a person is very enlightened, went through a moment where we touch deep down, and then it started coming up. He rock bottom. I want to see if it's necessary always to touch bottom or to start coming out, or we can from some point come up.
You know, the thing is this. Humans' greatest addiction is to suffer. Well, I don't know why, but we love to suffer. We love to feel guilty. We love to not feel good enough. It's as if we're not capable of just enjoying every moment and living in praise, love and gratitude. Lots of young people are much more conscious. You know, we come from a different school. It's like this lady was saying, oh, I need to love everyone, or I'm not a good daughter, or I'm not a good mother. And like, we come from the school of mi culpa. Okay, and this is the hardest thing to go beyond. So sometimes very heavy things happen that finally make us realize that we're like a dog chasing its tail. You know, we're doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. And we get to a point that we're like, what am I doing? Why am I still doing this? I don't want to keep doing this. If this is life, I don't want the next 40 years because it's too painful. And we start to change. Now, the consciousness level has risen. And younger people are much more aware. They're more focused on consciousness, alternates, saving the planet, finding equilibrium. There's still the aspect of suffering, but it's not so emitted. No, it's not, so dense. Because if I look at my grandmother, you know, that was her life, to suffer, the loss. And then my mother, and then I look at myself. You know, there is an evolution, and it's happening very quickly. You know, highly intelligent people, emotionally intelligent, not academically, emotionally intelligent, have the capacity to wake up. Sure, without going way down. Of course. It's about joy. It's about being in the moment. I mean, if you look at my teachers, they don't walk around like this, are they? No, they're in joy. They're surrendered. They're doing what they love. Yeah, they're not suffering. Did they come like that? No. But they got it quickly. So no, you don't have to go through something devastating. Me, yes. I did. Because I had the capacity to go beyond everything. Or disconnect. But most people don't, no. No. And don't think the things that happen in your life that hurt, they're not bad. They're just wake-up calls to find yourself.
It's the first time I'm in an event like this. And I understand, because what I saw, that the objective is to find oneself. Love ourselves. And once we achieve that, to feel the happiness, the joy. If that's the objective, is that all? We don't need to the people around us to be happy?
You know, the thing is, this is a very hard thing. Because we're so brainwashed to take care of everyone. Imagine men, for example. The providers. What are they doing all the time? Being strong, taking care of the children, providing, not showing emotion, controlling everything. And that we call love. Yes? And on some level it is love. But where's your love? Are you in peace? Are you in joy? Are you enjoying your life? Or only when everything's going well out here and everyone's happy? That's how it works, no? If the family's well, as a man, I'm well. If something's wrong, I've failed. And it's not like that. You're important. You have to be at peace. You have to be without stress. You have to enjoy everything you've created. And that joy is the greatest gift, because that teaches everyone else to be joyful. You know, the one mistake we make, if you can call it a mistake, is we're not taught to be happy. We do everything to make other people happy, but they're not happy. Why? Because happiness is internal. And when you find that, you teach other people how to be happy. Because we teach people how to be happy from some antiquated structure. You grow up, you're a teenager, you're irresponsible. But then you go to school, you graduate, you get married, you have children, you're successful, and you will be happy. But we're not happy. Then we come here. So I did all that. Or your wife brings you. And you're like, but I did everything. And I'm stressed out of my brain. So it's time for you. And once you have that, you can show everyone else how to be happy. You know, let go of your stress, find some consciousness, enjoy each moment, focus on praise, love and gratitude. Yeah, it's like that. It's contagious. Mm.
The people, our children, the grandchildren, all that. Are they to continue with the pattern that we have? Of waking up, when we wake up, we stop something, or it doesn't exist, that pattern?
You know, children don't do what we say. They do what we do. So as we evolve, they evolve automatically because they see the evolution. You know, this is why it's so vital that the educative system has to change. We have to teach children to be happy because they come happy, then perfect, and then we fill them with fear. Okay, but as you as a parent, as you transform, they transform automatically. Or sometimes it's the other way. The children transform and then the parents transform. Because we're breaking old patterns. And it's not that they're bad, they're just antiquated. It's a new world. We all see this. And everything's moving fast. The boxes are not so rigid. Now they're starting to open. Huh? So, you know, you focus on you. That's all you have to do. You loving you. You at peace with you. You appreciating you. And as a consequence, you're like that with everyone. You imagine, you come home from work stressed and angry and exhausted. Are you going to be delightful with the children? No, you project it externally, even though you don't want to. It's a consequence. But if you're happy, if you're at peace, you project that. It's the same with children. If they can move their emotions, if they can share what's happening, they don't go to school and project onto each other. Like, we have to learn to take responsibility. It's just that simple. It's not something esoterical. It's just peace, love, and giving that. It's really very simple, but it starts internally.
About expectations. How can we let go in our relationships, in our actions, in our world in general? Because I feel that conditions as human beings too much in our relationships.
Sure, we have all these belief systems. If you loved me, you would do this, 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 and this. And because you don't do that, that means you don't love me. It's crazy. But if I love me, I can share with you, I can give to you, I can support you my way. But that's enough because you love you. But when I'm feeling empty, I need you to do this, 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 and you do it, and then I find something else wrong. Okay? That's interpersonal. Demanding, controlling, because I don't feel loved. Who can love you? You. No one else. They can love you, but if you don't love you, it will never be enough. Never. Talking about the planet. Talking about the external. the changes we want to provoke. We can't provoke them with attachment. We provoke through love. In fact, provoke's not the word. We inspire through love, but we don't attack ignorance. We elevate ignorance. We show love. This is how we change. And we don't attach to our ideas. You look at all the religious wars, killing each other in the name of God. God is love, but my God's the right God. So I'm going to kill you and save you. Like we're all nuts, though. Look at what just happened. We just got through COVID, and then some idiots declared war. Like, what is that? It's like no one could even believe it. It's like, what? We just went through all that. Now you're going to go to war? So look how immature humanity is. It's shocking, no? I think that's the first time I've cried for humanity. When I heard that, I started to cry. I don't know, I wasn't feeling sad, but the tears started running down my face. And I thought, like this. It wasn't even a thought, my mouth was like this, like... Anyway, that's happening. And it is what it is. So what do? We elevate consciousness. That's it. It is what it is. You can't suffer something. Because the only person we can change is ourselves. Yeah. And if you're constantly fighting with your partner to be more, to be this, to be that, or the outside to be this, to be that, to change, it's the dog chasing its tail. And I'm not talking about you. Haven't got a clue what you do. I'm talking about in general. You know?
The system can be taught in rehab of addiction rehab centers and people with mental diseases.
Sure. You know, we teach it everywhere. It serves for everyone. You know, I teach it to kids with Down syndrome. It just expands consciousness. Well, actually, they're already happy anyway. You know, but you can teach it to anyone. For me, to let go of addictions, there's nothing greater. Because once you expand consciousness, you become addicted to that. And everything else affects it, so you stop. But they don't have rehabilitations for the addiction to suffer. You know, or else the whole of humanity would be in there. Okay, so everyone has addictions on some level. Some are more functional, some are dysfunctional. Some people have mental problems and they can find more equilibrium. But they also might need a psychiatrist and they might need a chemical adjustment. It's not that this just magically fixes everything, but it helps with everything because it removes the stress. So yes, it serves everywhere because it's who we are and there's no belief system. You can be Catholic, Jewish, Hindu, Buddhist, atheist, nothing, scientist. You can still expand consciousness.
How to recuperate my essence? I used to be very happy, very joyful, very joker. and situations in my life, I went modifying myself and being fearful, with anguishes, with lots of fear. I was married, obviously. We separated 3 times, and all that, like, it was affecting me, and I became bitter. All the negative I started to fill up myself with. I lost so much that part of what I was. So what should I work on myself? What should I do?
You have to do it for you. Because you're too dependent on what she thinks. You have to give that love to yourself. You have to heal that child within until you feel secure and happy again. Because your happiness can't depend on how she responds to you. Because she can change all the time. So you're like this. Oh, am I doing it right? Does she still love me? Does she want to be with me? All your attention's here. And it has to be here. You have to love you. And as a consequence, she'll love you automatically. I'm sure she already does. But, you know, you've got to stop that needy thing. And that's just fear. Just fear. You can heal that. And then you'll be free to be you. Maybe you don't even want her then. You know, like... you can get a new model. Yeah. Oh. You're in the right place. I'm always naughty, no? I'm sorry. She's pretty, no? Yeah, linda. Okay, gracias. Ciao.
Come visit our webpage for books, movies, and our wonderful retreat centers. Isha's simple yet powerful system is transforming lives around the world.